Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101, NFL Football Sunday Week 8. I'm Scott Trolla. I'm sorry I didn't get to do any of the early games pregame and early games postgame and late games pregame on the Sunday Night Football pregame that goes to do. You'll get it next week, I'm hoping. So what we'll do is do a Sunday Night Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday Week 8 recap show, we will call it. We'll go over all of today's. We got a lot of great matchups today in week 8 of the regular season. We'll go over all of that, and I'll give my thoughts on all of today's action. We'll preview tomorrow's Monday night game between the Browns and Bengals, and we'll talk about the Sunday night game that just ended moments ago. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday Week 8 trivia question. Who set a Jets record by passing for 4,007 yards in one season? I'll have the answer later in the podcast. Well, and I'll also give you my picks as well when I recap all the games. We had a lot of great NFL matchups today in Week 8, and we are now halfway through the regular season, as we'll wrap up tomorrow. And Week 8 will wrap up tomorrow with the Monday night game. I am going to go over all of today's NFL Week 8 action, and I will update. Well, actually, I'll recap the Sunday night game because it's now a final between the Bills and Packers at Bills Stadium. And we'll also talk about and preview tomorrow night's Monday Night Football game between the Browns and Bengals at First Energy Stadium, which is a game I feel the Browns really need to win. But right now, we're going to go over all of today's action. First off, you already know the Baltimore Ravens beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Thursday night. Thursday Night Football, 27-22 at Raymond James Stadium. And this morning at Wembley Stadium in London, England, the Denver Broncos beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-17. And this was one of those games where, and it was just the Jaguars had chances, but just could not. They just could not get over the hurdle, and they had a 10-7 lead at halftime, but then Denver scored a touchdown in the third and fourth, and the Jags scored one more in the fourth, but could not get that game-winning touchdown. So, nonetheless, the Broncos get it, and I got to give the game balls to the Broncos. Russell Wilson, 18 of 30 carries and attempts, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Excuse me. Latavius Murray, 14 attempts, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. And Jerry Giudi, 6 receptions, 63 yards, and 1 touchdown. Denver goes to 3-5. The Jaguars fall to 2-6. That was one of those games. It was close, but Denver was able to prevail. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Carolina Panthers in overtime today, 37-34. The Carolina Panthers, Atlanta led 34-28, but then Carolina scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter and tied the game. But the field goal was missed, and it went to overtime, and then Atlanta kicked the game-winning field goal, and that's what won it for Atlanta, and they get the win. So I have to give the game balls to the Falcons. Matt Mariota, 20 of 28 carries and attempts, 253 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Caleb Huntley, 16 attempts, 91 yards, and And Kyle Pitts. 5 receptions, 1 touchdown, 80 yards. The Atlanta Falcons get back to 500 to even up their record at 4-4. And the Panthers fall to 2-6. The Miami Dolphins. Oh, boys, all beat the New York Jets today. 31-27. This was close. Detroit had a chance, but they just could not get over the hurdle. But Miami just pretty much dominated this game. They through the first, second, and third quarter, and the Lions only scored in the first 2 quarters, 2 touchdowns and one the second, and then a field goal. But they were not able to score in the third and fourth quarter. So the Dolphins get the win, and it went the Dolphins' way. Even though they didn't score in the fourth, they held on to get the win. So I got to give the game balls to the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, 29 of 36 carries and attempts, 382 yards, 3 yards, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns as well. Raheem Mostert, 14 attempts, 64 yards, and Tyreek Hill, 12 receptions and 188 yards. Miami goes to 5-3. Detroit unfortunately falls to 1-6. They are having a rough season, the Detroit Lions. I know Lions fans are wanting to win, but it's just not going their way right now. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Arizona Cardinals 34-26, and the Cardinals had a chance, but they had to settle for a field goal, and the Vikings led 14-10 at halftime. But then the Cardinals had taken the lead, and then they came back and scored, and the Vikings scored 2 touchdowns, and it was 21-20, and then actually no, it was 28-20, excuse me, and then it was 34-20. Then it was 34-26, and the Cardinals just could not get past the hurdle, but Minnesota prevailed, and they just had Arizona's number, and Arizona had a chance, but they just could not do it, and they get the win, and the Vikings get the win in this game, and I got to give it to Kirk Cousins, 24 of 36 carries and attempts, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 20 attempts, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. And Justin Jefferson, 6 receptions and 98 yards. Minnesota goes to 6-1. And the Cardinals fall to 3-3. They are even up there. The record's even there at 500. The Las Vegas, the New Orleans Saints shut out the Las Vegas Raiders today at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, 24-0. The Raiders just could not get on the board. They just could not do anything right in this game today. And they just could not do anything right. They just made too many mistakes and had too many turnovers today. And it was all Saints. The Saints just had this game from the get-go. So I got to give the game balls to the Saints. Andy Dalton, 22 of 30 carries and attempts, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 18 attempts, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. And on the rushing side of it, Alvin Kamara again with 9 receptions, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Saints go to 3-3. The Raiders fall to 2-5. The New England Patriots. Oh, and for a lot of I took Denver and won on that one, and so did my brother-in-law. And I took Las Vegas and lost on that one. I won with Minnesota. I took that one with Miami and with Atlanta. So those are the ones that I mentioned so far. And my brother-in-law took the Falcons as well. My brother-in-law Eric Hoyle. He also took the Vikings, and he took the Saints, and he won with that one. He lost with that one. We both lost on that one. And right now, he took the Dolphins and won with that one. Those are the ones we've mentioned so far. And now, the New England Patriots beat the New York Jets 22-17 at MetLife Stadium in New York today. And, boy, this is when I thought the Jets would win, but how wrong I was. I really thought the Jets would have it, but they just could not get past there. They were up 10-6 at halftime, but then the Patriots took over in the second half, and they were limited to score just one more touchdown in the fourth quarter, and that just pretty much sealed the deal for the Patriots. And I got to give it to the Patriots. The game balls. Mac Jones, 24 of 35 carries and attempts, 194 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ramondre Stevenson, 16 attempts, 71 yards, and Jacoby Myers, 9 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. New England evens up their record at 4-4, and the Jets fall to 5-3. And I took the Jets and lost. And my brother-in-law Eric Hoyle, he took the Patriots. He won with that one. Let's see what we're up to. I guess it's that one. The Philadelphia Eagles just walloped the Pittsburgh Steelers 35-13 today at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. And Pittsburgh is just really struggling this season. And I had a feeling Philly would remain unbeaten, and they did just that. And it was just their game. They had the Steelers number today. So they get the game balls. Jalen Hurts, 19 of 28 carries and attempts, 285 yards, 4 touchdowns. Miles Sanders, 9 attempts, 78 yards, 1 touchdown. And A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. Philly goes to 7-0. They remain undefeated, and Pittsburgh falls to 2-6. And we're going to get back to this in just a second. I took Philly and won, so did my brother-in-law. Right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday Week 8 trivia question. Who set a Jets record by passing for 4,007 yards in one season? And if you said Joe Namath, you are correct. Namath accomplished this in 1967. I will have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. And right now, I'm going to take a break. I will finish up, going over all of today's action. It'll now be a 2-part podcast, and I will finish up this one. I'll continue this once I've uploaded this video, so I'll be right back. Stay with us. There's more to come.